At just 32 years old, Max Carter was the epitome of success. As the founder and CEO of a revolutionary AI technology company, he had built an empire that not only disrupted industries, but also made him one of the youngest billionaires in the world. However, despite his dazzling career and lavish lifestyle, Max's personal life was far from fulfilling. For years, he had poured all his energy into his work, neglecting the idea of finding love. He wasn't short on admirers. His wealth and intelligence drew attention wherever he went. But Max's sharp mind and high standards made him a difficult match. He hated superficial relationships, and his strong personality often intimidated others. Max's closest friend, Ryan, often teased him about his elusive love life. "You've conquered the tech world, Max, but you're hopeless at dating," Ryan joked during one of their usual dinners. Determined to help, Ryan persuaded Max to give dating apps a try. "It's time to get out of your comfort zone," he said, downloading an app onto Max's phone before he could protest. With some reluctance, Max decided to go along with the idea. "Who knows," he thought, "maybe I'll find someone who doesn't just see me as a billionaire." And so, Max embarked on a journey into the unpredictable world of online dating, completely unaware of the twists and turns it would bring to his already complex life. Max's journey into online dating started with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. He meticulously crafted his profile, choosing photos that showcased his love for innovation and adventure, along with a brief description of himself that hinted at his witty humor. Within hours, matches began pouring in, and Max felt a flicker of hope. First date, Sophie. His first match was Sophie, an accomplished journalist. Her profile radiated confidence, and Max admired her sharp mind during their initial chats. They arranged to meet at a trendy cafe downtown. When Sophie arrived, she was every bit as poised as he had imagined. The conversation flowed easily, until a stray dog wandered close to their table. Sophie froze, her eyes wide with terror. Is that a dog?" she stammered, inching her chair away. Before Max could respond, Sophie bolted, leaving him sitting alone with his untouched cappuccino. The second date, Clara determined not to let one bad experience deter him. Max set up another date. This time, he met Clara, a financial analyst with an impressive background. The evening started well, with Clara asking insightful questions about his work. But as the conversation progressed, her tone shifted. "Have you ever considered what would happen to your assets if you were in an accident?" Clara asked, her eyes narrowing. Max blinked, caught off guard. "I mean, do you have contingency plans in place?" she continued, launching into an unsolicited financial consultation. By the end of the night, Max felt as though he'd been grilled in a boardroom rather than on a date. The fallout after 2 disastrous encounters, Max grew disillusioned with the app. "Maybe this isn't for me," he muttered, deleting it from his phone. He confided in Ryan about his frustrations. "Dating feels more like a circus than a connection," he said, shaking his head. But Ryan, ever the optimist, wasn't ready to let Max give up. "You just haven't met the right person yet," he said with a grin. Little did Max know, the right person wasn't far away, though their first meeting would be anything but ideal. On the morning of December 24th, Max was gearing up for a much-needed holiday break. For once, he planned to step away from his tech empire and spend Christmas at his family's estate in the countryside. His bags were packed, and his sleek black sports car gleamed in the winter sunlight as he pulled out of his driveway. The streets were bustling with holiday activity, cars honking, shoppers rushing, and snow falling lightly. Max navigated through the chaos with practiced ease until he reached a crowded intersection. That's when it happened. A pickup truck barreled through a stop sign and crashed into the back of Max's car with a deafening crunch. His head jerked forward, and for a moment, all he could hear was the ringing in his ears. "You've got to be kidding me," Max groaned, stepping out to assess the damage. The pickup's driver scrambled out, her face pale with shock. She was a petite woman in her late 20s, her hands trembling as she clutched the steering wheel for balance. I'm so sorry," she stammered. "I was distracted. I didn't see—" The stop sighed. Max's frustration boiled over as he took in the wreckage of his car. "Distracted? Do you have any idea what you've done?" he snapped. "This car is a one-of-a-kind model." The woman introduced herself as Emma, a local art teacher. Her voice remained calm despite Max's anger. "I'll take full responsibility," she said sincerely. "I'll pay for the repairs, and I know a great shop that can handle it." Max sighed, his initial fury giving way to exhaustion. "Fine. Let's exchange information," he muttered. Emma handed him a card with her number, and they parted ways. But as Max drove his battered car to his mechanic, he couldn't shake the feeling that this chaotic encounter was just the beginning of something unusual. Later that day, Max's mood worsened when his mechanic delivered the bad news. His car wouldn't be ready for weeks. To top it off, he received an email from his assistant. His delayed schedule meant he'd now be working through the holidays. Max grumbled, blaming Emma for ruining his plans. By the evening of December 24th, Max's frustration had reached its peak. He couldn't stop replaying the accident in his mind, blaming Emma for the chain of events that ruined his plans. The thought of spending Christmas alone in his penthouse filled him with dread. Just as he considered ignoring the holiday altogether, his phone buzzed with a call from Ryan. "Max, I have a surprise for you," Ryan said cheerfully. "Please don't tell me it's another blind date," Max groaned. "Exactly," Ryan replied, unfazed by Max's sarcasm. "Just trust me. You'll thank me later. Here's the address. Be there at 7 p.m. With little else to do and a faint sense of obligation to his friend, Max reluctantly agreed. When he arrived at the address, Max found himself in front of a small, cozy community center. The soft glow of Christmas lights framed the entrance, and he could hear the faint sounds of laughter and bustling activity from inside. As he stepped through the door, his eyes widened in surprise. Standing near a long table covered with trays of food was Emma, the very same woman who had crashed into his car. She was tying an apron around her waist, surrounded by volunteers who were decorating the space and preparing dishes. Emma's face lit up when she saw him. "Max, what are you doing here?" she asked, equally surprised. "I could ask you the same thing," Max replied. "Ryan said I'd be meeting someone here. I didn't expect it to be you." Emma smiled sheepishly. "Well, this is awkward. Ryan's my cousin. He must have thought this was a good idea." She gestured toward the busy volunteers. "I'm organizing a Christmas dinner for kids from the local foster homes. We're cooking everything from scratch, so there's still a lot to do." Max hesitated, his instinct telling him to turn around and leave, but something about Emma's determined smile stopped him. Before he could think of an excuse, Emma handed him an apron and grinned. You're here now, so you might as well help. Unless you'd rather stand there looking awkward." Before he could protest, Max found himself chopping vegetables and arranging trays of food. As the evening progressed, he started to notice something different about Emma. Her warmth, her passion for helping others, and her natural way of bringing people together began to chip away at his usual guarded demeanor. For the first time in years, Max felt a strange sense of belonging. The kitchen was alive with activity, pots clattering, laughter echoing, and the mouth-watering aroma of freshly baked dishes filling the air. Max worked alongside Emma and the volunteers, initially feeling out of place, but gradually finding his rhythm. As they prepared the final trays of food, Emma explained her passion for this event. "I've been doing this for years," she said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "These kids deserve to experience the joy of Christmas, even if they don't have families to celebrate with. It's my favorite tradition." Max listened quietly, impressed by her dedication. He had spent his life solving global problems with technology, but here was Emma, creating profound change on a personal level. When the food was ready, the team loaded the trays into a van and drove to the community hall where the dinner would be held. Max's curiosity grew as they arrived. The hall was transformed into a winter wonderland, with twinkling lights overhead, wreaths adorned with red ribbons, and tables set with festive decorations. Children of all ages were already there, their faces lighting up as the food arrived. Emma took charge, coordinating the volunteers with calm efficiency. Max followed her lead, serving steaming plates of roasted turkey, mashed potatoes, and colorful salads. As the evening unfolded, Max observed Emma closely. She moved through the room with ease, comforting shy children, laughing with others, and even crouching down to clean up a spill without hesitation. Her warmth was contagious, and Max felt a sense of admiration he hadn't expected. At one point, a little boy tugged on Max's sleeve. "Are you Santa's helper?" the boy asked, his eyes wide with curiosity. Max chuckled, kneeling down to his level. "Not exactly, but I'm here to make sure you have the best Christmas dinner ever." The boy grinned, giving Max a high five before running off to join his friends. For the first time in years, Max felt a joy that wasn't tied to success or money. It was simple, pure, and deeply fulfilling. As the night wound down, Max and Emma sat together, watching the children enjoy dessert. "I have to admit," Max said, turning to Emma, "I didn't think tonight would turn out like this. You've created something truly special here." Emma smiled softly. "It's not about perfection, Max. It's about sharing what we can and making the most of what we have." Max nodded, feeling a shift within himself. What started as a ruined Christmas had transformed into one of the most meaningful nights of his life. As the evening came to an end, Max helped Emma pack up the remaining food and decorations. Despite the exhaustion from hours of work, he felt energized by the warmth and joy that had filled the room. Emma walked him to his car, her breath visible in the crisp winter air. "Thanks for helping tonight," she said, her voice soft. "I wasn't sure how you'd feel about all this, but you really made a difference." Max leaned against his car and smiled. "I think I should be thanking you. I came here expecting another awkward setup, but this turned out to be incredible." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, the quiet hum of the city surrounding them. Finally, Max broke the silence. "Emma, would you like to have dinner sometime? A real one? Without aprons? Or a room full of kids?" Emma laughed, her cheeks turning pink. "I'd like that," she said. As Max drove home that night, his thoughts lingered on Emma and the magic of the evening. For the first time in years, he felt a connection that wasn't tied to status or expectations, just something real. It seemed Christmas had delivered a gift he never expected. In the days following Christmas, Max found himself thinking about Emma constantly. Their conversations replayed in his mind, and he couldn't help but smile at the thought of her passion and kindness. For a man used to the fast-pacing world of tech deals and corporate acquisitions, Emma's simple yet profound way of viewing the world was refreshing. It wasn't long before Max reached out to her. Their first official date, a quiet dinner at a cozy Italian restaurant, was a far cry from the high prefaces of the events Max usually attended, but for the first time, he didn't feel the need to impress. Emma's easygoing nature and genuine interest in his life made Max feel at ease. As the weeks turned into months, their relationship deepened. Max began to open up about his fears and doubts, things he had never shared with anyone before. Emma, in turn, showed him the joys of slowing down and appreciating life's simple pleasures. One evening in February, as they sat on the couch surrounded by takeout boxes and laughing over a silly TV show, Max turned to Emma with a spark in his eyes. "What if we made the Christmas dinner an even bigger event next year?" he suggested. Emma raised an eyebrow. "Bigger? How so?" "We could turn it into something extraordinary. My company could sponsor it. We'd bring in more volunteers, more food, and create an unforgettable experience for even more kids," Max explained. Emma's face lit up with excitement, but she added with a playful grin, "Only if you promise to keep wearing that apron." The idea quickly took shape. Over the months, Max and Emma worked hand in hand, combining his resources with her grassroots approach to make the event a reality. By the time the next Christmas rolled around, their dinner had grown into a grand celebration, with hundreds of children enjoying a magical night filled with laughter, warmth, and love. Through it all, Max discovered something he hadn't expected. The more he gave, the more fulfilled he felt. The Christmas dinner became not just an annual event, but a symbol of what truly mattered: connection, compassion, and the power of giving back. That first Christmas with Emma had turned his life upside down in the best way possible. What began as a chaotic accident led to a partnership that redefined not just how Max saw love, but also how he saw life itself. Each year since, their Christmas tradition grew richer with meaning, becoming a celebration of not just generosity, but of the joy found in unexpected connections.